While players have found their fair share of Helldivers 2 Easter eggs, they have also uncovered plenty of things that are, as of now, completely impossible to make sense of. Here are just a few of the most confounding mysteries in Helldivers 2.
Now, our enemies rise from the shadows once more.
Something that divers have wondered about since pretty much day one is whether or not the Illuminates, a feared faction from the original Helldivers game, will be returning. This speculation has only ramped up as more signs of the Illuminates have appeared, like the blue lasers that have popped up in the sky over several planets. Another example would be the mysterious light shows some players have seen overhead. The most direct reference to a possible Illuminate return was seen on the TV screens of players' Super Destroyer, which had a story scroll across the bottom line claiming possible Illuminate sightings had been dismissed as a work of dissidents. After all, the Illuminates were officially declared extinct by Super-Earth after the previous galactic war. Surely, if the biggest threat humanity has faced was on the verge of returning, we would be warned and put on high alert. Super-Earth would not lie to the Helldivers, its most revered and trusted soldiers, right? Not when fans have spotted evidence that the Illuminates have carried out kills on Super-Earth, right?
They're lying to you! Don't believe a word of it!
Fans have also speculated that the first game's cyborgs may return. The half-human, half-robot faction's resurgence has been seen as almost inevitable at times. The most obvious sign of their return was that the cyborgs' homeworld of Cyberstan could be easily seen in the game's galaxy map. The most common theory holds that the automatons were pushing towards Cyberstan to free their supposed masters from imprisonment in the world's mines. But with the bots now more or less wiped out, this no longer seems a likely outcome. So what are we to make of Cyberstan then? Is it just an interesting little Easter egg for fans of the first game, or is there more to it? Will the cyborgs one day make their long-awaited and dreaded return to the galactic stage, or are their days as a major power truly behind us? Only time, and perhaps some new information, will tell. One of the major mysteries that is actually acknowledged in-game is the unknown entity of the Maker and Master of the Automatons. As said above, the most common line of thinking is that they were somehow made by or replaced the cyborgs as a contingency plan to free them if they lost to Super-Earth. While that theory is still possible, their goal, if it is to free the cyborgs, seems like it will not be accomplished. The biggest hint that suggests this theory might not be true is that the automatons appear to be broadcasting messages to someone outside of the Milky Way galaxy, not just Super-Earth. Because the bots have been pushed back, it seems that we will not be getting a definitive answer to this question anytime soon. However, even the democracy officers on every Super Destroyer's bridge acknowledge that the war with the automatons will not truly be over until the identity of their engineer is uncovered, and they are forced to face the full might of democracy and Super-Earth. Naturally, the fear is that this mysterious benefactor could always build more automatons, until they are either revealed or reveal themselves. All that can be done is to wonder about who they are.
Oh shit, buddy, I gotta dig a little deeper.
In recent days, Helldivers 2 players have started sharing screenshots of what looked like the outlines of massive cloaked ships hiding in the atmosphere over automaton planets. Fans of the game wasted no time starting to speculate on what these ships were. One theory is that they have to do with the newer automaton gunships. However, this seems unlikely, as the ships seem were possibly even larger than the Super Destroyers in which Helldivers begin their missions. Another theory posits that these ships are yet another sign of the Illuminate's impending return. After all, the Illuminate was famous for their cloaking technology during the First Galactic War, which took place 100 years prior to the timeline of Helldivers 2. It is not much of a jump in logic to suggest that these cloaked ships then could belong to them. In mid-March, screenshots and accounts started emerging of players spotting a new flying subspecies of Terminids. These reports were quickly dismissed in-game as false propaganda, while even Arrowhead CEO lied to players about the very existence of the flying bugs. Eventually, it became clear that the flying bugs known as Shriekers were a very real new threat for Helldivers to worry about. A new massive evolution of the Terminids suddenly appearing seemingly overnight seemed all but impossible, and players have been trying to figure out where they came from. Perhaps the most common idea is that the Shriekers were an unintended consequence of the Terminid control system, with the Terminid causing massive, sudden evolutionary mutations to occur. Another theory is that the Shriekers are something that only appears when the Terminids are desperate, like they are in the presence of the TCS. Either way, the flying bugs constitute a mysterious and concerning development on that front of the war. Shortly after the game's release, the developers at Arrowhead Game Studios revealed something interesting about Helldivers 2. The game actually has an old-fashioned game master controlling the progress of the war. The game is apparently a bit like his own personal sandbox, with Joel being able to give reinforcements to enemy factions, benefits to Helldivers, and even changes to where the Terminids and automatons will attack. This has led to Joel becoming equal parts a meme and godlike figure in the Helldivers 2 community. Players will joke about his influence over the game, making memes and posts asking him for things, and even praying to or cursing him like a deity or demon when things are going poorly. Still, we know remarkably little about who Joel the human being is. We do not even know his last name. Some players have even begun to speculate that Joel does not really exist, that he is a fictional figurehead for a team of developers doing the job of a game master. Either way, the long-term plans of those in charge of the war's progress remains a mystery. One that can only be solved by continuing to play and push forward.